Hey everyone, I am back. It's Michelle with Resonant Essentials, and I want to talk to you guys about exactly what the Halloween review is about and why we have the program Got Your Akashic Wish List ready, because Halloween is a very spiritual night for metaphysicians and for everyone, lay people. It doesn't matter. We all go for our spiritual review, whether we recognize this or not. And one of the things that is really hard for us to acknowledge is we struggle and we don't understand that maybe some things are in our way, that it's past time for them to be blocking us, and we have the opportunity to move it out during this time. So Halloween is our spiritual review. We review one life, this life, even 1 year of this life, up to 5 lifetimes, to see just about where we're at. This is a really important time that we're in right now. Right now, we're looking at the Great Awakening, how we're supposed to serve, what we're supposed to be doing, and how to make things kind of bring everything into balance for ourselves so that we are not struggling with frustrations, and then able to understand how we've already put things into play and how to take it on graciously instead of fighting and struggling with ourselves. For example, if you notice, look through your life, at least it has for mine, most things start coming to an end. Things that I've been working on, they start winding down August, September, October, and new things start picking up into my life November, December, January, where I have gone through my review. And each year after I go through that review, I'm looking at, okay, I don't need to do this any longer, so I can bring this time to a close. I'll give you an example. Sorry about that. My dear Johanna, our illustrious astrologer here at Resonant Essentials, I get my solar return done with her every year. And she looked at me, she says, Michelle, this year, I'm not afraid to tell you that, because it looks like everything's going to be coming to fruition. Everything is coming into balance for you. Well, that's kind of what we work on in our spiritual review. We go back to the Akasha, we do our review, we see what it is that we had destined to accomplish, where we're at with our destiny plan, where we're at on our path. Have we strayed off of some things that maybe we need to bring them back into the fold, or have we brought into balance those thoughts that we have negated ourselves with, so that we quit believing that we're not worthy of higher consciousness or higher activity, higher income, more love, more abundance in all things. And you can see it kind of winding down where people, places, and things start to fade out of your life in August. And it's not that those people are horrible people. It's not that those people are doing it we just in those situations, we fulfilled our agreement with them. So it's time to let it go in a graceful, loving way as best as we can, and just say, hey, you know what? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to love you. It doesn't mean I'm not going to talk to you. It just means maybe we're not going to be as close as we once were. A few people I know right now are really struggling because they're having family issues, and the relationships in their family, they're going, what's the holidays? I'm fighting with my mom. These are the things that we're here to work on and to bring into balance, and understand that we all have agreements with each other. And that as we bring these things into balance, the more gracious and loving that we can accept these things. So what we're going to be talking about in this workshop is the opportunity to bring the balance, yes, but also merging the spiritual with the physical and the mental selves, because that's a huge one that we tend to fight. I remember I had gone to San Antonio to help my daughter and I slipped and fell on black ice. And that was not in Toronto where I was. I had just moved up to Toronto, and I in San Antonio. So the struggle is what am I bringing to my table? And it was kind of one of those things. It was a heads up of maybe, hey, you need to take things a little more slow. You need to be a little more gentle. You're still in recovery mode. You're still healing from the summer illness that had faded out of my life in August. But it didn't mean that these things couldn't really manifest if I had allowed it to. It was just a reminder, slow down, don't be rushing through life. So these are things that when we understand that we bring to our tables, it's okay. But we're also going to be understanding there are things that we need to ponder on. Our negative speak blocks us at every turn. If we're always laying the accountability for our misfortune in life on everybody else, all the yucky things that happen. Oh, if my husband hadn't lost his job, that stupid boss of his, we would be fine, right now for Christmas. It's looking at things in a different perspective and saying, wow, your husband may have lost his job. The income may have reduced by, a smidgen because you might have gotten a great big huge raise. And now he's able to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of at home for a period of time. And he's going to find that just right job that he's been manifesting and working toward so that he can be happy in his work. Maybe he set in motion for his Halloween review to lose this horrible job so that he can come into a more happier, more fulfilled beingness. So we tend to lay blame either at our family's doorstep, at our own doorstep, at the neighbors. This is a way about looking at these things and understanding we created them. So it has a whole different tone in our life. We'll be talking about the way to write for your spiritual review, because there's a whole ritual that comes with it. I've been doing this since 1993, and I have had some disastrous results by not knowing how to prepare for my review, kind of just going in it at a different direction. I said, this is what you do. They gave me this little bit of information. And from there, it took me quite a few years. Oh, I put myself through some horrible hell, saying things like, I want to make more money this year than I did last year. And I did that year. I swear to you, this is no joke, on my taxes, I need 5 cents more that year than I did the year before, because I didn't realize that I had to be a little bit more specific, but I also didn't realize I had to feel more worthy and had to recognize my own self-worth. So with all of this, I can tell you that when I went up to Toronto, and I had planned on doing 6 months there, come home for a couple few months, see the kids, go back up, live there for 6 more months, come back home, see the kids for a couple of months, and do this back and forth until basically I died. And I guess in my Halloween review that year in 2015, I set in motion an agreement to come back here to Albuquerque on a permanent basis. And when I set that into motion in December, it was actually in November, I was standing in the closet deciding what I was going to take back to New Mexico, what the weather was. So I was pulling my clothes together, kind of getting things in order, end of November. And I was going to actually leave mid-December. However, as I was standing there, Spirit came through and said, Pat, what's important to you? Because you won't be back for a while. And I thought, okay. So that put another burden on me of deciding what was important. So that kind of postponed the trip. And then I broke my foot and ended up in January driving through 5 snowstorms in 3 days to get here, thinking that I was going to do one thing, and ended up opening up Resonant Essentials. So even though it wasn't on my agenda, it was on my spiritual path that I was to open this up and to do the work that I'm doing now. This is the information, and why this is so important for our review is to really be able to understand the messages we get that night, how to get them, what to do with them, and how to make it work for us in a much easier, more gentle way, instead of, oh, surprise, you're not going to be doing grief recovery work with people who have lost loved ones. You're going back into metaphysics, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And I was writing classes, and I was like, why am I doing this? And it was spirit guided, saying, go look and see what's going on out there. But it was a little easier for me to accept because I didn't have the clutter of my own stuff, and I had already learned how to make the review work for me in a way that I understood it, and I got the clear messages. So that's one of the most important takeaways from this class, is how do you work with what you're given and accept it graciously, because kicking and fighting doesn't do us any good. With that being said, we'll be looking at what you want to make manifest in your own spiritual life, what you want to make, how do you want to bring that into balance into your home life. A lot of people go, well, you know, it makes my significant other uncomfortable when I do this or I do that. So I really need to have that space. Well, you can look at your review and say, I need to be more in harmony with my significant other so they understand this aspect of me. So you bring yourself more into alignment with your other half or your children or whomever it may be that you feel they may not be blocking you, but you may feel are blocking you. And those things that people come on and they want you to do it their way. Well, we're not here to do it their way. We're supposed to do it our way and our intuition. So the importance of this class will teach you how to listen. The end result is a more peaceful life, a more balanced existence, and more spiritual growth. And trust me, the coming year and a half is going to be a little more difficult than we planned on. Some of us are going to be in a situation in which we see friends and loved ones struggle and have that strife in their home. And we want to be able to be that white light for them that brings them to balance and integrity and love and makes it easier without bringing it to our table in a codependent way. So these are your opportunities. The class is $107. The takeaway is well worth what you get for the 107. You get a little notebook to journal in for the year, and or to get you started in journaling for your next month or so afterward. And you get the opportunity to really recognize how to do the ritual in a correct way. So, you know, you'll get the tools you need for that. So with that being said, if you're interested in taking the class, call me, 505-453-7646, or you can email me, Michelle at resonantessentials.com. I hope to see you there this Sunday, October 16th. The class starts at 10 a.m. You need to pre-register so I know just how many people are coming so I can set up the tables and chairs correctly. Thank you. My heart to all of yours. I wish you a wonderful day, and we will talk with you soon. Bye for now.